Hello everyone, it's Vicki here today designing for Bramble Fox, and I'm using some perspectives from the store and also one of the new Foxcut stencils. So there you can see what I'm using. I'm using the little critters that are at the top and that circle stencil there. So these circles kind of reminded me of just, snowflakes. They're not snowflakes, but like snow falling. And so I have this glimmer paste and I wanted to use some of this to add some little glimmery dots on my page. And I wanted to, there we go. So I'm using a 2-inch silicone brush, which I got just on Amazon. It's just a little cheap thing, and I find it works really well for scraping texture paste through a stencil. So I'm just going to add some of these dots at the top of the page. I know I'm going to put some paper over the bottom half, so I just wanted to put some at the top. And they're very subtle. On the final image, you can only just see them, but it just adds that little bit of snowy sparkle, I think, to a winter layout. So a lot of these actually at the bottom you can't see ultimately. Okay, so I've done that, cleaned off my stencil, excuse me. And now I'm going to tear some paper. So I'm using the Hip Kit December 2021 kit. And there's some nice papers in there that nice and wintry. So I'm using these two papers here. One is a peach with dots on and the other is a white with black dots on. And I want to just create a little scene on here, I guess. So while my paper's drying, while the texture paste is drying on my paper, I'm just sort of trying out what I might want to do here. I'm pulling out some of the embellishments and just building up this little scene that I'm going with. And I decided to use the other half of that paper behind, and I think that looks really nice tucked in there. Okay, so here are some embellishments that are in this kit, some little trees, and that's a little wreath. So I'm just picking out all these subtle greys and peaches and that sort of colour that will go with the little critters that I've put on here. So I'm just giving myself an idea here of what I want the final layout to look like, and yeah, it's a good time. It's the texture paste that I use doesn't take very long to dry at all, so it's just a good time to start thinking about what I want to do. So I want to use these chipboard houses, and I peel the sticky off the back so that I can just place them down and use them like die cuts. It's just one layer off the back, so they're still, they're still 3D, they still stick off the page, but they're much easier to move around. And I like those little ice skates there, which go perfectly with the snowy scene that I have in my photo. So here we go. That's kind of how it's all going to look. So now what I need to do is start to get things stuck down, and then the design will also evolve as I start to stick things down. Not sure what I'm doing here, just thinking, doing some thinking. Here we go. So I'm taking everything off of the layout and I'm going to start to think about sticking this down. And I'm just using some double-sided tape to stick that down. I could have cut some more off of that paper, but I was fine to use the whole sheet. I actually stick that on there slightly wonky, but then when I tried to take it off, it rips, so I don't want to do that. So it's not too much of a bother. Okay, so I've taken that off and the manufacturer's strip all at the same time. And here we go. Now I'm thinking about putting everything back together. If I can remember where everything went originally. I've talked about it before, but this is my common problem. I put everything down and then when I go to put it back, I can't remember where I wanted to put it. So things move, but that's okay. I mean, I know basically what I want to do here. go. And it's funny that the colours are very pastel, which is very not me, but I'm really happy with how it came together actually. The photo that I have there was very bright, bold colours originally, but with my with an app, the Lightroom app, I just lightened it. I faded out the colours. I still wanted some colour in there because of the orange hat for the snowman. I still wanted some colours in there, but I didn't want it to be really super bright because it wouldn't work with the pastel-y pieces, I thought. So that's just a tip to make your, rather than have to black and white your photos, you can just dull them down and reduce the saturation on certain colours. So yeah, I think that works quite well. So I cut a bit more out of those skates because what I want to do is sort of have the effect of them hanging ultimately. So I just cut another hole so I can tie some string into there. Okay, so this is going to be my title, Winter Adventure. So I've got Winter, which is a full sticker, and it looks like it's been stamped. I quite like that effect. And then I've got Adventure from these chipboard stickers that I'm going to put down. And I do actually put them down a little bit wonky. I didn't realise, but my ruler is not straight. And that's because of the paper at the side not being straight. So I do have to move them in a bit. You can see that they're not straight if you look at this now. And it was bugging me. Okay, so I've got some tissue paper, which I think is really nice for a wintry, snowy layout because it's a nice soft edge to the photo. And that tucks in. It doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's got a couple of rips in and a little bit missing, but I think it works quite well. Sticking things down now, I've got Scotch tacky glue, which is a wet glue that dries pretty fast. So it's really good, especially for 3D pieces like the perspectives and the chipboard. And I use some double-sided tape for my photo. There we go. So I'm going to stick all the perspectives down. I forgot to take the film off of the back of them, but I don't think it matters because it does stick really well anyway. And my glue seemed to stick that to the page, so I'm not worried about that now. But it's always good practice really to take it off before you stick them down. Okay, here's where I've realised the side of my page is not straight because the paper's not straight. And that's then where I see that my title is definitely not straight. So yeah, I'm just going back in and I'm going to stick that straight now. And already it looks so much better. And then I'm looking at my title and thinking that there's blue in there, so I need to put some blue somewhere else, that dark blue. So that's what I'm going to do in a moment. But I'm just tying some string onto my ice skates. I'm just going to put a bow and make it look like it's hanging off the title there. So it sort of gives that cascading effect to the layout. And I'm going to put some foam on the back of the skates and glue that, and then also just glue the knot of the bow just directly to the page as well, so that it doesn't move around. There we go, so it's in the right place and that knot will stick there then. Just got to be careful not to move these things until they've dried, because you saw with the perspectives there just now, I did that and they moved around a bit. Okay, so I've put all bundled up there. This is the dark blue that I'm bringing in to go with that R, because I didn't want to just have that R as dark blue and nothing else. It just felt a little bit strange. So I had a little pink flower there at the bottom of the photo. Always got to have a bit of floral on my layouts, and some up there in that cluster, one up there in that cluster as well. And I just fold up the edges just to make them a bit more 3D. And then I'm going to put one more flower on there, I think is coming. in the dark blue. That's what I'm looking for here. I've seen one, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to ruffle up the edges of that, and I'm going to put that in there next to the ice skates, just to add that blue in there as well. There we go. And I think that that is the final layout. Let's see what happens. Yes, there it is. There's the final layout. I hope it inspires you in some way today to use your little critters from the Bramble Fox store. They're so cute, I can't even tell you. But there's some close-ups as well, so you can see them. The little etchings, just, oh, super cute. And yeah, please let me know if you have any questions. I'll link those critters in the store and also the stencil so that you can take a look for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Vicky for Bramble Fox. Bye-bye.